Bana imwasuze mutya good morning ngero je tuyise wanja ulo kajamu mbadde nyina kuwatanya ne ngamba kanfune kubeddala but you remember we used to pass this way mukijjukira ebiseera ebyo eno twateranga okuyita yeddako but you guys have forgotten ani asobola okugesinga luguudo kiruno. I hope the network is clear today. Eggulo network yanzijeko n'empulira obusungu ate yasose kunkolako mikolo mitonotono n'endowooza eneetuuka nekkakkana nga wa guys, we are going to go off-road. We are going to go off-road. Abantu abavuga Subaru basibu. Kati alowooza ki? Neneetaga muvuge Subaru ndagaba yayiba Subaru ebituufu balina ovuga Subaru. And I realized abakazi kasita bayiga emmoloka bati nayiga okulinnya omuliro. Today I just want to give my interpretation of the transport business. This is my interpretation. It might not be as accurate as you need it to be because apparently there is no research. Mu Uganda wano tetwina research eyankomeredde gyosobola okugamba nti if you want to talk about the transport business, you use these facts and figures from this organization and all. However, buli muntu akozesa their experience and the data that they have been able to figure out on their own to make a conclusion. Now, why am I interested in talking about the transport business? It's because I have so many of my followers, because they are passionate about cars. Many of my followers and subscribers are interested in getting into the transport business one way or another. However, I find that for so many of them, it's one way to earn money on their own without being employed by someone, while also using the small money that they have. And I find that some people go about it the wrong way. Some people go about it the wrong way, which is not proper. So I thought I should talk about it, but first of all, that's okay to tutambule mu kikubo ky'ettaka kino tukiveemu. Naye kansubire mu ggaali mwasuze bulungi. Amanye ekitundu kye tulimu. Kati eno mbabuza bulungi nnyo. Ate tudde naawe Antonio Obula. Yes, mwasuze mutya bantu bange. Tewali ate ebyeje tuli. Nga sinalaba. Joshua ndi wa mulimba. Mumatembe tasobola kubula. Eno yaliyo nga tebannazimbayo. Kana amakubo bagakola alaba. Oba nasa yaliko kuba architect. Ababayita ba surveyor. Abatematema amakubo. Naye tusaze kajjamu olunaku lwayo tuba kutakasala. Oba kyekibadde kikutte mu mmotoka kati zitambula. Abamanyi ebyokukyuka amangu ne tukyuka mangu. Mu kukola tuyombagana, tulwanagana, tusojjagana naye tukwatira ewamu. Ate agali awamu ngegalunyama. So we can do it. Someone was asking me what wheel spacers do. Olabe emmoroka eyo Subaru eyo tuli maaso. Subaru eyo eriko spacers. Of course the rims are offset. Nazo zifulumya omupiira naye eriko ne spacer. Okitegeera. So that's what wheel spacers do. Zifulumyamuko ku rimu katono. Of course the best way okufulumya rimu eyo kyandibadde kyogula offset rims. Offset rims oziraba emisumaali baba bagisubira eri munda. Kati rimu ebeera efulumya omupiira bweti. It's almost like a normal rim, but it's not really a normal rim. That's why it's called an offset. It creates an offset for your tire. So your tire nekubanga kufulumyemuko. So even if you were to put that offset rim on something like that parcel there, the tire would basically have an offset in like 2 or 3 inches. And I find that it gives the car a little bit of stability, but nzenga Arthur sport rim ezo sizagala. Nzenga sport rim yali njatiseeko is baita alloy rims. I've ever had it burst on me ate enziruka naye yabika pa nakuba akanya. I find that the all alloy rims would be better in roads that are a little bit stable. Naye muzina enguudo zaffe buli wamu obeera nga ali off road. I find that ziba zigenda kumenyaamenyamuko. So of course ziwangaala. It's not like teziwangaala, but me I've had a bad experience with them. Chobola ne kukolola kwaliko alloy rims nenzijjako and I put the steel rims. And most of the cars that I've driven after the Corolla have all nagulayo ka bits kamwa kaina alloy rims ezo zimuita sport rims. But other than that, all the other cars I've driven have had steel rims, and yes, the steel rims may not look as attractive, but yes, you can always figure out ways of making them look a little bit attractive. And one way is by buying wheel caps. Ugura wheel caps notekako. Wheel caps nizizirongoosa mu okitegeera. Naye nga mwasuze mutya. I used to want to offset, but I no longer. I don't think I want that anymore. I find that the spacers. Is there any effect of size 15 on the Ractis? But I'm driving a Ractis and it has size 16. There is no effect. And it's size 16 here yajirako. Okitegeera size 16 here yajirako ku Ractis game. I just increased the size to 205 from 175. Is it 175 I think? So I bought a bigger tire because the bigger tire is cheaper for me to buy. Yeah, the bigger tire is cheaper. Yeah, I'm going to guys, today I want to talk about the transport business, but mugenda kunzikiriza nsoke ntekeba abani when you know batika out tuyoke tunyomye. I think at tusemuka moment when sobola okunyumizamuko mulira yingini yingini ojiwulira baba ulira naye kakati wano nyina okudda mulayire kuba ngenda kuweta wali naye wapaso yanzikiriza kangende nyingire mbe mmoroka ez'ebbeeyi bo bayinza okuba bo bategeera katulaba ono wakkuluga tamanyi temoroka ye yabbeeyi tamanyi amaze n'ategeera gyeboloka yabbe nemwe ba people how did you sleep mwasuze mutya mwasuze bulungi eggulu munansonyiwa network yanzeeko emikolo nepulira obusungu nenzigirako ddala totale nga sina kyakikolera naye kasita bwetuli olwaleero tunyumya ate era mukama bwatyo bwa mikolo biseera ebimu. Sometimes when something like that happens, I think to myself it could have been worse, but it's not. Yeah, so I want to talk about the transport business. There are a number of categories of people that are in the transport business. One, the most useful type of business. God, this house looks nice. The most common type of business that really is nice, that really has made people money. But there was this business, catchy investments. Waliyo, what this other popular one? And so it's the taxi, no taxi matatu. You guys sit 14 passengers and then go. It's normal vans that are bought. Japan, they bring them here, and then the fabricators in Uganda, they fabricate seats and they put them there. Then you go get a license that allows you to carry passengers. They write up PSV, passenger service vehicle license. Yeah, and then you go and pay for a stage. After you've paid for a stage, you also get a driver. But sometimes when you get a driver that already has a stage yourself, but a driver in a stage here, then you don't have to pay for a stage. And then that's the most common business. I find that it's also the most profitable business in the transport business. But it can also be a very bad business. They can so get Miombia Mang, Tali Samuel to see me Eddie Sereko Starch, Hashim, Galasi Joshua Mix Farm, Nathan, Antonio Random Things, Romeo Polite, Fred and Life Stories, Travel Life Vlog, Monrad K Momo, Lucky Mose, Ronald Muchwa, Mutumba Pade, Nathan Nkumaze, Paul Sema, Juma Abaji, Balvids, yeah, Mwesigwa Simon, Jerisha Motors, yeah, and Joseph Bali Kudembe. Guys, abayina ebibuzo bya lwakutaano bantu bange. Okujjako ng'ekibuuzo kyo kiri ku topic. Better make sure your question is on the topic. If it's not on the topic, let's reserve it for question Friday. Yeah, tugezeeko okubamuko ne ka structure akatonotono. So, but today your question about transport, you can ask it. Weba sina answer, abantu abayina answer we bali ku ky'omanya. The taxi business has always been like the most profitable business in Uganda, and it's a business that doesn't actually discriminate over wasoma obate wasoma. As long as you have your money to buy your chigege or your drone, you are safe. You can do your business. You can enter the transport business. And then what do business and that are light trucks. The light trucks mwemuli Elf, mwemuli Town S, mwemuli akayongeza, yeah. Then those people you shift, you carry stuff. It doesn't stick, but you can use it to shift people. You can use it to transport goods and all that. Mulimuzi Kanta, Elf, and then so many other. Mwabanga Diana, but of course the Diana is no longer as popular as it used to be. And then there are also those light trucks that carry building materials. So ina mulimu Elf, mulimu Kanta, mulimu Forward, and so many other cars. And then the big ones, so Sino truck and all. But then in transport business, with taxi, there what you call the coasters, the mini buses. And then afterwards there are the buses. Most buses zilimu bagaga tiba bibi gatabegasi. Tosora kumalaga very no kona bus company. We know kubako woite. Like most businesses ezirudemo abantu ezirimu sente. You don't just come out of the building simply because you have money and you enter. But take it. Like you guys have had the propaganda with Global Coach. Global Coach you don't just come. Kumbi uli bus inondo nyiniyo, but it's under one bus to allow them have structure on the road. Yeah, but so we have talked about the light trucks, we have talked about the building material trucks, we have talked about taxis, we have talked about the mini buses, and then there are of course the buses that we have talked about. Yeah. What? Yes, you can remove. You wake your brother up as well. Yeah. So and then there is a category of business that was done by some of our uncles. Me, I knew an uncle. Ragnar, wake up now. I knew an uncle. He died some time ago. He was a young brother to my dad. Me, I have no proof, but that's what we were told, that he was one of the guys that sold those things. Because my dad apparently had some money. He had a center among Uganda. And then they choke and they chimutwala. So, but this dude used to drive a light truck, normally Sahara. Sahara should be considered a light truck. Sahara, Town S, Enyongeza, those are light trucks. Yeah. And then the special hire. Literally every family muntu special hire. Special hire, mwe muli bakojja bamwe abavuga zi Ipsam, mwe muli bakojja bamwe abavuga Wish, mwe muli bakojja bamwe abavuga Noah, mwe muli bakojja bamwe abavuga ISIS. I'm mentioning those types of cars so that you guys understand later on when I discuss, you understand what cars are supposed to be doing that business. Mwe muli bakojja bamwe, what other cars have people actually driven? People have been driving all sorts of cars in special hire, but in Uganda, I don't think I've seen anyone that does a Mercedes-Benz as a special hire. I don't think I've seen anyone that does a Subaru as a special hire. I've not seen anyone that does a Nissan as a special hire. I've not seen anyone that does a Mitsubishi or whatever type as a special hire. But Toyotas have been doing special hire since time immemorial, Starlets, all those. Uchitegera. Kali. Anigwe mbade sinabuza ako. Mwesi kwa Simon Peter, I love your show and channel. Thank you for giving us common Ugandan perspective. Amina, amina. Corolla 2. Ojirabi Antonio. Mukazi no yabada ajivuga. Jelisha Motors. Chiriwo. Joseph Bali Kudembe. Abebo Kenya. Firstborn. Bridget Kakai. You girl, you get lost so much. Why do you be getting lost like that? You need to know that we are here. We are here. You need to come all the day, all the time. You need to be here for every broadcast. Hashim, Arthur, I want to transport eggs, distributing them to my clients. Can a Sparse Your Old model work? Yes, it can. The Sparse Your Old model works. However, I find that by buying a Sparse Your Old model, you are doing what you want. You are not doing what you should be doing. You're buying a car simply because you want it. I find that since it's business, and one thing I found that Matembe Abdul Nasa tubadde wanonga die mukikubo nga bantu bakitegera ne bagamba Nasa mbu yayinza okutegeera ekikubo ekyo mbu waliwo nga basala amakuba agogo. Council Patrick Asiko, how are you? Rahim Chimuli Chigozi. So aniyo nabuziza ku byamaji. Hashim, I find that since you're buying a car strictly for business, and I'm imagining it's strictly for business, I find that you should consider buying a car that will strictly do business. Carry eggs, and then you buy a car that will carry any amount of eggs, any weight of eggs. G-touring. Think about buying a G-touring. Think about buying a Pro Box. Think about buying something like a Caldina, Fielder, or is take the Muru Kazenjogerako, cars that are estate, the estate version of cars. I find that those cars will do you justice. Then boboso bodo funa kanuwa, but of course nuwa katebe nywamu kumafuta Caldina nywamu kumafuta. So the G-touring, the Pro Box, those cars will do you justice. They have a big boot, and the boot can be expanded. So I find that anybody that is, because that's also an angle of transport. You can decide to be a transport person. There's the value chain. You remember we talked about the value chain. In the value chain, agriculture, there are people that deal strictly in transport. Which companies like Yugachi probably don't even own their cars. There are people that strictly deal with the logistic side of that business. Yeah. So Bernardo Dongo, good morning. Chiza Tadeo, good morning. I agree. I carried numerous trays of eggs in a G-touring for some time. It served well. Good. G-touring was space in any, so you can carry at a space. You're taking the G space yo. Arthur, do you advise buying a car and giving it out to someone to drive and pay you daily or weekly, as the people do with motorcycles and taxis? Yes, it's one way for you to earn passive income, but recently, Nabagamba, you remember the first few weeks I was really excited. I was getting the car money, right? Because I gave that car to someone that is really close to me, Corolla yange, I let him be. Namugamba bw'onooba ofunye ssente gwe ng'oteeka ku account, bw'oba tofunye vuga emmotoka, bw'ona ogikoowa n'ogula eyo gwe ng'oleeta emmotoka yange ng'ogiteekaawo. Now, if you're going to be doing the transport business as a business person or as an investor, I find that if you're going to be doing business as an investor or as a business owner, the approach of you buying a small car like a Sienta and giving it to someone might not actually do you justice. With time you'll give up. Nga we are giving up omugambo manyiteka we motoka yange. And it's a fact. So many people will not tell you this. Recently someone called me nangamba Arthur nchimanyi watugano okuinvestinga mu Uber na yenze nchikoze. Okitegeera. And Sabagana, me I discourage you because I find that you buying a car of 18.5 million, 20 million shillings and then giving it to someone to do Uber, it hasn't been very, very good for so many people. It hasn't ended very well for people. I find that 18 million shillings, you could do something totally different with it, and you don't even have to use the entire 18 million shillings. Use like a Kathrima, you start a side hustle, and that would work better for you. And I did a video sometime back on TikTok where I was talking about the Uber business and all, and so many people actually came out and said, you know what, Arthur, I think I regret I did not listen to you. I bought this car and later on I realized I could not even buy tires for my own car. And remember, when you give your car to someone, for example, special hire or something, it's you to maintain the car. It means for them, omulimu gogenda kuba gwa kuvuga buvuzi. Okitegeera nti nga bwamalako emipiira then bwakugamba nti ate bwamalako emipiira bwakugamba tugule emipiira bwayonona suspension bwakugamba tukandike suspension and all that. So the transport business, there are so many approaches. Now, the first approach in the transport business that people want to actually do is one. The first approach that people want to do normally is buy a lorry. You buy a lorry and then you give it to someone, and then they give you, normally lorries report from between 200,000 to 1 million shillings, depending on what lorry you have. And I'll tell you that a cousin of mine used to drive lorries for people. He can tell you, he told us here one time, lorries used to fetch a lot of money in time when nobody had a truck. Hardwares did not have transport means. Supermarkets did not have transport means. You get? And very few people actually had cars. So someone had to move. Whenever someone had to move something, they would have to hire a lorry. You get? And that's how it was. Like if Arthur had to shift, had to use the car. Let me tell you the things that have since changed since then. Today, if Arthur wants to move from one old house to another, Arthur is not going to move with his old stuff. I realize and I've learned the hard way. Bobo senguka. Entebe nkaddo sengula za kiziguza abagule ebikadde. Mu nyumba empya genda ogule entebe empya. Ekitanda ekikadde kiguza abagule ebikadde. Bogenda mu nyumba empya gule ebintu ebipya. And I've realized that so many people are doing that, by the way. When someone is moving from an old house, aleta abagule ebikadde, ebyo byonna nabibaguza. They go to the new house with new stuff. Now, in the beginning, some of the people that used to do that gave reasons of my family members bachala ebintu ebyo babitekamu ebyawongo bichi. You guys have heard those stories. But then eventually, the millennials were fair. We started learning that every time I shift a house, why don't I shift my property as well? Why don't I buy new stuff? The things that people shift with now when they shift in new houses, TV, woofer, those small things that I can put in my car. So if I'm shifting, I could literally shift my stuff in two shifts in a Vitz. And then the rest of the things, I just go to Euroform or Vitaform and I buy a big spring mattress. I don't even need a bed. Put the bed there. I have a TV, I have a bed. If I want to buy new chairs, people no longer even buy the big sofa sets that they used to buy expensively because it's not even a trend. Right now, millennials are living a minimalistic life. We no longer buy those bulky stuff. And you guys are going to see very soon, we are going to shift away from buying the big cars. We're going to start buying small cars because that's where the trend is taking us. So, omuntu buli wasenkana ddala bakyapangisa ebyo ng'abiguza abagula ebikadde ng'agula ebirala. Okitegeera because ogenda kuba n'ebintu bakujjeko emitwalo 2 bimuvinga naye ng'emitwalo 2 ge bakujjako bimuvinga already bikadde ng'ambiguza omuntu ezo sente zampadde nga ngulako ebyetaagisa ebirala ndibigula later kati gye tulaga generation gye tutwala. So lorry business eyesengula abantu egenda eggwamu sente. And then even then there came very organized moving companies that are even branded ng'omulimu gwabwe gwa kumuvinga abantu. Okitegeera. So and I would rather work with an organized company than work with Matembe Abdul Nasa somewhere in the village. Ainalore Edugala, Utsegera Taina customer care, Tali accountable. I would rather work with an organized company. Kanzeko chikava chino banangi chingenda bukumisi matemo jimaji samusanga yangu. I don't know why I forgot to take it off. Yeah, so with organized moving companies coming into play, you realize that abasajja abagula zero olezo kati ate bagenda tan kukolera ddala loss. Okay, let's read some of these comments. Work, but make sure I watch all the Miss Live broadcasts. Amin, Akakai, thank you. Kambesi, good morning. Modric, good morning. Nasagan, my friend bought a Ford as his retirement plan, but unfortunately Musuza Anjala now coming back to Gulf countries. Lorries temuchari sente unless when you have another business to utilize it. Exactly, thank you Nasa. Padagamba Uber business needs when you are driving your car, because some drivers are not good, they don't care at all. Probably you end up investing money in mechanical issues which is not worth it. Hi Jude the dude. Barikudemba Gamba Arthur, you mean anyone who is dealing in farming business, G-touring is the best? No. It doesn't necessarily mean that G-touring is the best. But it's an option, especially when you sell eggs or when you transport eggs, things that are small as that. Now, lorry to Zogedeko. About hardwares now, every hardware has a truck. Why? Because hardware has realized that when people buy from us, they want means to so like the hardware where I buy my stuff, guy akugamba gula amafuta emotoka ekulete ne wembangu ze ebintu bya milioni 5 ngula amafuta gejo ngula mafuta gebiri ne wali nalifunye moroka nenzijako emitwalo 15 okitegeera. So you realize that just like that the lorry business has been killed. Hardwares have their own trucks, supermarkets have their own trucks, and even the rise of businesses like Chikubo Online. You guys know Chikubo Online. Chikubo Online, when you go to Chikubo, you don't even have to go to Chikubo anymore. Go to their app, order for stuff, Chikubo Online will deliver in trucks. And it will be a very subsidized amount. Otherwise, there are so many things that are coming into the transport business that right now it might not actually work for you. But it might, you never know. Now, even the taxi business is starting to be killed. You guys know, they have drones, and they go literally all around the country. I don't know who is in charge of that thing, but chigenda kuba taxi very soon because they are organized. Their cars are new. I'm thinking they even have customer care. And the taxi business has for long been disorganized, and people have been very accommodating. They don't really have an option. So special hire, you guys, but today special hire, Lord to soke to zideke. Today cook special hire. How many uncles of yours do you know that have done special hire for 30 years in Gabari Burunji? Most of them, if they have a home, etakabali sikira. Ogenda okulaba nga n'okuzimba obuzimbi batunda kweri ottaka nasobola okurezinga sente zazimba ennyumba wasula. Am I lying? And by the way, for your information, I've realized that majority of the men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, majority of them, not all of them, majority of them ettaka libaliko baalisikira. So they have never really known how to buy land. Some of them bazadde baabwe baali babeera n'amataka mangi square miles. Me, I know men in their 70s that are still fighting about land. Because they are still fighting about land their great-grandfathers left. Feba millennials, on the other hand, majority of us have actually bought land to India from ground up. And then you find those men in their 70s and 60s saying, so special hire is dead. Uber used to have money. So when I ingirako Uber, ngabana bagula na mamoroka mu Uber. Right now, imoroka joine gwera mu Uber. Which again, and it's a fact. Now, the other approach for business would be for you to buy cars and hire them out self-drive. But with cars that are self-drive, you need to have a huge capital base. For example, you start with like 200 to 300 million. Why am I saying that amount? Is for you to have self-driving. With million you can buy 4 cars of 25 millions, yeah, 4 cars and above, yeah, because a Morocco igenda kuanga emitwalo 10 per day, for example. And if you're going to have only 1 car to hire out on self-drive, chitegizongenda kubanga the moment 1 car is taken, you're out. But if you have like 4 cars, 25 million shillings, now one of the things you have to do for those cars is comprehensive insurance, and comprehensive insurance for car hire businesses is expensive, because bagenda kugambe nemoroka egenda bwevugwa abantu abenjawulo. So for us to insure it, we have to charge you premium. Bakucharging a sente nyingi ko. The comprehensive insurance rate for me after avuge moroka iye is not the same rate as the person that does transport business. The moroka egenda all around the country driven by different people. So you have to buy comprehensive insurance, which might even be, if you buy a car of 25 million, you may end up paying like 3 million per car per year. Then you have to put a tracking device, you have to put an alarm, yeah, and then you have to have a system that monitors those cars, which means ideally you need to have a member of staff, at least one person that is going to deal with customer service, making sure that people maintain the cars properly. Then you're going to have you need to have a system that keeps those cars clean. Like hoovers or vacuum cleaners. You're going to buy the jet car washes. You're going to buy washing materials. Then you're still going to have a technical team on standby. Again, that's why majority of people that are in the business of hire of cars for self-drive, they have their own parking lots. And in those parking lots, by now washing bay, by now a car detailing business. So if you're going to be doing that business, a self-hire, a self-drive hire, we're going to go in multiple businesses in one. Washing bay, a mini garage, detailing business in a. So you have so many businesses by the virtue of the fact that you have a self-hire, a self-drive car hire business. And then you will want to expand. So ngachi ugambe bilene million ngabi bidi obachi 15 nti bogulayo ade togenda gula moroka butono nnyo kitegezo ngenda kwagala ogule moroka nga wishi olumo yagala ogule moroka nga chi primo, because those are the cars that people want to hire. Togenda gula bo Vitz, togenda gula bo Sienta. So you'll have wishes atobelene wishes valmatic ya million obasa tumusatu oberemu ne Nuwa, oberemu ne ku RAV4, oberemu kone ku Mark X. Kitegeza amazima gawo wetaga million 15 nga zigula motoka ne million ndala ngamba 15 za facilitating amoroka ezo kubeerawo. Okitegeera signature 5 signature kankomao Ben kako chechiriwo. How is UK? Antonio Agakojanga has been in special hire for 33 years now. Yazimba okanyanyane wampe, and he has been doing good and still doing more better financially. Parking out Kalerwe Mawanda Road. Banage, that's a surprising thing. Abantu bonabona imanya abali mu special. Actually, majority of the special hire guys in Zebe manyi. Emoroka bakyavuga za bakama babo. Abasinga. Okitegeera. Derek Lule, good morning. Arthur, where do you see the future of taxi business in your opinion? Guys, one thing you need to understand is the taxi business is not going anywhere. That's matter to think. Because abanene banji baina mu taxis abo, so they are not going to beat that taxi business down anytime. Omusajja yali agenda okuba taxi business yali wa pioneer naye ndo zero about they flowed him. Arthur, I think to benefit in Uber, one should use it as a side hustle after finishing 9 hours work shift. Yeah, that's a very good argument. But I find that Uber will frustrate me. I was doing it part-time, by the way. And I can tell you that part-time, I concentrate in the kumulimo gugoe, no gukola outstandingly well, and you earn more money. Seeing against that government can call side hustle ya Uber. Abaku singi the watching kugamba antyo nti wanyo kumafuta kanyo kumafuta. Watching kugamba bwentyo nti you're going to waste like a 5 hours at a way base atenga ne sente tozikoze. Ukitegera. Yeah, I'm telling you. May I find that yes, we want side hustles, but I find that the best side hustle is the side hustle where you don't actually invest your time, a lot of your time, where you're not really needed physically. Going to supervisory role. Ukitegera. Nenga wobogera kubera yo physically. Chinzo kumenyamu. So, but we are still talking about the transport business. To get the lorries, to get the buses, to get the mini buses or coasters, to get the ku special hire, to get the Uber. Wena visa kale bwekikona ngo jam kale okay, some people don't just tell the truth how they get money in the country. Okay, some people just don't tell us the truth. They get money from other things. I can tell you with experience. Abantu sente bazijja walala Antonio. Check your uncle. Njagadde okigamba Antonio naye nensa nenchireka olumusirika because abantu abasinga bemanya aba special hire. Mu special hire bafunamu sente ez'okulya naye tebafunamu sente zikola birala. Kati mu special hire, some of the guys that I know that have been in special hire nga balinga abafunamu ojja basanga emmotoka agiparkinga awo n'ateekako akapaali n'agenda akola ebirala. When the customer of special hire comes nga amuvuga okitegeera then abalala babroka b'amataka abala babroka b'ama. Actually, some of the guys abali mu special hire, some of the guys kola 15 giwere. Some of the guys abali mu special hire abamu abali mu special hire batunda motoka ezo zenyirinyiri nti motoka agibera mugabo agivuga special hire na ye gata special hire sitwalya kati nga bwabera ne motoka n'agivuga emyezi 3 n'agitunda n'alyako obukadde mumeka n'afuna motoka endala n'agitunda n'alyako obukadde mumeka ne receipt eyo nayo gimpe n'afuna motoka endala n'agitunda n'alyako obukadde 6 kati bw'ogattagatta bw'agatta sente eno n'agatta eri nabanga ayina engeri gy'agattamu. Seruwu Victor obuze nnyo. One time in 2005 he tried to enter the taxi business. He bought 2 Chigege but zamusala zombi. He sold them and bought Ipsam and Noah again and went back to special hire till now. So but we are talking about the transport business. Yeah, and you people be careful before entering a business. You may risk your sweet and money and struggle until tongama tibaganyo jisom. Until you die, kumbe you are competing with a thief. Abantu ba special hire ekiro bafuuka vampire. Nange we manyi nti abantu ba special hire abamu bamanyi ebiseera ebimu gattako emirimu emirala ekiro. Luka 29 takagaseemu. Kalika risito kampe nako. Kale. drivers. Kale guys, we are still talking about the transport business. We are still trying to dissect the transport business. Kati sawe na abantu abasinga abavuga Uber, they are actually doing bavuga zinuwa zino valvematic ne wish valvematic abasinga okitegeera. But someone yangambye oli yaguze Subaru ki ligase eyo. Of course it looks like this is the Outback, but the Legacy looks like this. Mboli yajiguze kadama yajiguze kole airport pickup okitegera. But then tugende ku the other aspect, air self-drive car hire mugirabye. It's a business that could be very profitable for you, by the way. Nti a business yokupangisa emmotoka nga abantu bajja ne bazipangisa ne beevuga esobola okukolera sente ate empitirivu okitegeera. But I also find that kati for example oyagala ko kakasante emmotoka eza Uber ne special tezikola akamotoka kali karawumu kogenda laba akabbulu okalengera akabbulu akagudde buutu. Waliwo companies alina obumotoka obwo nga ziba n'obumotoka obwo nga bungi naye zisinga zaggalawo abasinga babutunda kuba baatuka nga tekikola. In the beginning when you're getting the first money it's really exciting, but then as time goes on and then the drivers stop paying okitegeera, and then the drivers stop paying, they default and all that, notandika okulaba the true colors of the business okitegeera ne bisala. But then the other aspect of the business would probably be of the transport business yandibadde Uber. No, I mean Boda. Nkyogula Boda yo nekuwa omutwalo buli lunaku oba nasa yatugamba yafuna gumu satu every day from every one of his motorcycles. Mkitegeera afuna gumu satu nti Boda, for example, if you buy a new one you're going to buy it 5 million, and if it gives you 10k per day, that means it's giving you 300,000. No. Ebekuwa emitwalo actually gabeera abiri si mwena, because of akusasula 6 days a week, right? Nasa secho. So ekuwa emitwalo abiri mwena per month, that means you're getting 2,400,000 every 10 months. 2,400,000 a year. Bw'ogattakuwa n'emitwalo 24 n'emitwalo kale nga 5, kitegeeza piki egenda kuwekuwa miliyoni nga 2.8. Egenda kuwa miliyoni 2.8 per year, naye nga wagigula miliyoni 5. So and miliyoni 2.8 ojekeza maintenance oyinza okwesanga office miliyoni nga 2 per year. Kitegeeza a motorcycle you will break even after like 2.5 years. 2.5 years, that's when you will break even. By the time you break even, motorcycle na yebe ekaddiye. Kati awo simanyi nasa osobola you can dissect it, because I've not done the Boda. This is mathematics I do from the outside, and then I think I know it very well. Nayo oyinza okwesanga you guys can break even in less than a year. I don't know. That's how you can come and probably tell us more about how that business operates. But from what I see, your Boda you'll break even in 2.5 years. I have a friend here. Abadde kucheyo ekata. He bought a Subaru Impreza 2013. General Sonko, how are you? Mr. Matembe, the guy was in business when it was in its primes in the 90s. He got money, invested in rentals, housing, was in a butcheries in Chisazi. Nasagam, I'm very sure about it. My close friend was doing it. Nampitiramu did in COVID time, and I wondered guy could rent an apartment for 1 million. Naenga avuga sienta kumbe kondo. Simon Peter Mwesigo, Arthur, how easy is it to get into the airport taxi business? The airport taxi business is not really hard to get into. You go to the airport, find a company, I think they have a company that is in charge of controlling the airport taxi. You pay membership and then pay for a stage. Yeah, and then you start, you not take a much and you start driving airport taxi. However, I'm at airport taxi, what you do pitch the rule. So that's also something you have to think about. Oba tokkiririza mu ddogo nga gwe tebikulya omwana wuyo akubye ekitaala omulabye n'omulala wuyo wa taxi akubye ekitaala banaye twetagayo ekipapula ky'ekitaala bannange nga kyamaanyi nze olwo ebintu ebimu byempagira gavumenti ekole ng'omuntu akuba ekitaala bamuwa ekipapula kya miliyoni nga 3 million because it's not proper, it's not right that tuyita ku bitaala okitegeera because go when obonoita ku bitaala noweli ajayita ku bitaala noweli ayite ku bitaala and then we'll get chaos. Airport business, I think it's not that hard to get into, but I find that surviving in the airport business is also another thing. Osobola okujiyingira n'otasobola kusurvivingira because it's also very competitive. It's also very competitive, but you can enter. Osasura, I think you guys, the guys that are in the business, they pay between 2 million to 4 million to get a slot at the airport. Basa suira dala sente nezuwera. Basa suira dala sente ezuwera. And then no sa ezo bwezibera official, you know, kunonya yeze nguzi so sasura awo. And then of course you create links with people at the airport of Bokulaba Abedi Munda, Wabaja probably they tell them about you and then you have customer care. Yeah. Me, it's one business that I don't think I would dream of entering. The business customer tanko kungambe wantu wali yeddo. I find that nyine entalo zesagala kuyingira because nyinzo obutazi wangula. Entalo ezirimu spirituality nyinzo panga sijja sobola kuziwangula. So anyo bulamu bwa kulizo obwo. Njagala nnyo obulamu nga bwemba nkoze nnyo mpitawo. Ekintu ekitaliko oyinza okukola ennyo n'olwala ebiri mysterious. And then there's a guy I talked to, Daringa ngende ebweru. Then there was a bus company that started, but of course it closed. For them they started like ngabakoranga bazungu. If you're going abroad, you book their bus, you pay 30,000, nebobero mu bus ekutwala. Zari Costa. I don't know if it still exists, but the last time I remember they closed it down. Ngabakuvuga mu bus, ngamuli mune AC and everything. They take you to the airport. And then the dude told me a story of how he got me seriously sick na akogga galingo oluusi and apparently according to the theory he gave me agenda yonna bamugamba nti oli yali anyize nti akoze sente nyingi nnyo ng'ayagala akogge yenkana oluusi okitegeera ng'ayagala akoleki akogge yenkana oluusi. Now those things me I don't want to prove them. There are so many people that will tell you ata ebyo tebiriyo biki me I don't want to prove oba gye ebiri oba tebiriyo. Nze bwe bangamba awebire sigendawo okitegeera. As a matter of fact nze ne bangamba nti okola ebintu ebyo I stay away saagala kugezesa oba obikola oba tobikola okitegeera. There are things that we should not try. You see how they said don't test God. Yeah, katonda tomugezesa mukangakanga let's study mumuleke okitegeera because the fact that Satan if he exists has survived out of heaven this long katonda n'amulemererwa sebo ne Satan aba alina amaanyi agano kati bonna sibagezesa kakolola tuko kako Antonio. You'll be surprised abantu babira mu jam ngenze ne droppinga ne batabani ba nenzija era omukazi gaakyali awo mu kajjaamu. So guys nze sigezesa nze bangamba nti ye wantu wali yeddogo nze siina kye ngenda kunoonyaayo. Saagala kugezesa bw'aba sitaani abeereyo abaagala omugezesa bamugezese. Edwin Kadama yagula Subaru Impreza nze siina kye mugamba. Some guys are in airport pickup kumbe batunda lake and the other boys babbi, some with sugar mamas. So if you are earning your money, be careful before investing in those taxi things. And by the way guys, nasa kyabagamba kituufu. Ojja genda oyingira business olowooza nti abaana ebyo bye bakola naye nga si bye bakola. Okitegeera nga si bye bakola. Abantu abamu in the taxi business, airport taxi business, Uber business, naye nga banoonyezaamu business ndala nga yaali mu kufuniramu business z'endala. gwe nolowooza nti airport taxi business gyakola, kumbe si gyakola. Ngeyo it's a front, it's a cover. Olabanga abantu abakola money laundering. Guy opens a boutique, gwe nolowooza boutique yekola sente, avuga emmotoka za bbeeyi, kumbe mu boutique ayoleezaamu sente ze. Okitegeera? So you need to be extra careful. You need to be very, very careful. Era nga ndasaba akugambye abaana abamu babbi ge mazima. Nze boda business yansala. Nasa agambye the Boda thing works when you are having more than 5 bodas. But this 13k only keeping a friend busy working as buying my daughter's milk, but thinking of expanding it, inshallah. Amina. Today I see you using my route. Amina. Benadodongo. Here crossing red light is an equivalent of 6 million. Nze njagala baleta ekipapula ky'okukuba ebitaala nga kya miliyoni nga 3. Abantu bagenda tano ku respecting ebitaala. Abantu bavugira ddala bubi bannange. Lwaki oba okuba ekitaala? Kale. Naye ng'ekyokukyusa leeni kyo bagira bakireka. Leeni zo tuzikyusa to survive. To go faster. Kati olaba kano kenkyusiza leeni. Mpisize emmotoka nga 7. Okitegeera? Kano kenkyusiza leeni. So this is a survival thing. Naye ky'ekyebitaala. Ebitaala twetaaga ekipapula nga kya miliyoni nga 3. Yeah, so good morning, Oza Mosantu Antonio. Arthur, which transport business is good for sure? Okay, now the one business that I would actually be encouraging you to enter, if you have your money, would be the normal taxi business. Now, yeah, it's complicated, but that's what I think. At least that one. I know that in like because the taxi business ekuwa emitwalo 9 per day. Ekuwa emitwalo 9 per day for 5 days. Over ennaku 5. The way the person that we got a taxi for is doing it is that 5 days are his, 6 days is for the manager. That manager is not me. You can decide to get your own manager. Me, I can't even be that. But the manager earns money on the 6th day, then the driver uses the 2nd, 7th day. So if a car gives you 90k a day for 5 days, let's say 10 days, that would be 900k. 20 days, that would be 1.8. That would be 1.8. 1.8. Checho. So emmotoka yekuwa miliyoni 1.8 per year. No. Emiliyoni 1.8 per month. Kitegeeza it gives you 18 million per year. Okay? Now, if it gives you 18, the other 2 months is the case again maintenance. Kitegeeza you get 18 million per year. Kati kibalente 18 is a vehicle balante ofuna 15 million per year. Obalente ziyesatu nazo zigenda maintenance. Which means ekigege gy'oguze miliyoni 3 esobola okuwa miliyoni 3 mu myaka emeka? Esobola okuwa miliyoni 3 mu myaka 2. Okay? Bwekuwa miliyoni 3 mu myaka 2. Bw'oba wagigula miliyoni 3 kitegeeza in 2 years you have broken even. Naye nga kigege gye wagula miliyoni 3 ekyaliwo. Kati at that time bw'eba ekyali nnungi nga mugimaintaininze bulungi, it means that in the 3rd year you'll get some money which is like 15 million. Bw'obeera okyagimaintaininze bulungi mu mwaka ogwokuna you get another 15 million. Okitegera? But one thing you need to understand about the taxi business is like any other business. Nafe abali mu katemba okola firimu, for example like mulabanga the cafe, nagikola nze nga owner saalyako sente with the money that I sold to DSTV the very first time. Nze nga owner nga producer saalyako sente. I paid my employees and recouped the cost and I was okay. So the second time I sell the cafe is when I will actually make some money. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. That's when I'll get some money. The second time is when I'll get some money. Kati. Then if I manage to sell it a 3rd time, then I'll make even more money. That's how business works. Until you don't break even the very first time. Now the trouble that I've realized about us, not majorly as Ugandans, I used to think like that. is that business tetuzibala bulungi. Bw'oyagala nti business bw'ogitandika omwezi guno omwezi ogujja otandika okujjamu tobala nakubala diro najjamu sente zange diro nabeera profitable. So ogenda okubuuza omuntu business yo yakakolera amagoba ga sente mmeka, ye sente zakola buli naku ayagala zibalanga amagoba ng'ate si bwe biri. So boda you break even in 2.5 years, the taxi you'll break even in 2 years. Okitegeera ezo zoloole nabagambye zoyinza obuta breaking even. Okitegeera. Now, the newer the taxi you buy, the longer it takes for you to break even. If you buy a taxi from the bond, nojigule million nga zibaza million mmeka. Drone teri mu million nkaaga ku nsanvu. So if you buy it at 70 million, of course drone yekuwa mitwalo nga 12 eyongeramu emitwalo 4. So kitegeeza in 10 days ebekuwa million emune emitwalo 2, in 20 days ebekuwa million 2 n'emitwalo 4. So aguze kigege nkadde ayinza okusinga aguze drone okukola amangu sente z'okuzijjayo. Okitegeera. But is the up country simanyi oba zongera muko ne ziweze 15. That's something I have to research. Yeah, but I've done the math of the 90k. And then you need to understand that sometimes the car will break down. Emalina kunga bidding nga teri mukola. Kata gwe nannyini gwakola losi kuba ofulumya sente ate nga tozikola. Okitegeera. Good morning, Ronald M. Kasendwa, Solomon Owor, Atha, okay. Joseph Bakwere. For cash flow, I think taxi and boda. Yes, taxi and boda. Yes, we are trying to skip the reality, but taxi business doesn't need someone that will depend on it. Otherwise, first starting business, then okugazia capital obiyingire. Nange bwenda aba business ya transport yonna teyandyetaze muntu nga weetetenkanya nnyo, because you can imagine you're putting 30 million away to recoup it in 2 years. Okitegeera. Arthur, a taxi guy giving you 90k per day, how much can it cost if it's used? Taxis beera ne million ekitono 28. Ekitono 28 yakunoonya nnyo. Walibadde with 30 million. Amina Globe Yates. Tom, good morning. Omunaku akyeyiiya, and when you're dreaming big, taxi soko ogireke. Taxi yetaaga abantu abalina, you already have something that you're doing, no sala okanjitekemu kakase. And there are people that still had jobs, ne bateka sene business ya taxi era ne basala. Okitegeera. Good morning, Okumu Brian. Forward for building materials, only buy it if you have a hardware or you sell the materials yourself. Bobo ina ekirombe ky'omusenyu or ina hardware, buy the forward. But I find that buying the forward nga just oguze engule ogenda kaaba. Abdul Nasser already atugaye mukwano gwe agenda okudda ku kire because forward temukolera makulu. Okitegeera. And you guys bambi abagenze ku kire ne mukola sente za mwene ziwe ate mwe mbere very careful. Normally when someone wants to ask me Arthur nkoma one sente oza business gye mba nyino kola, I find that nobody should actually be advising you on what business you should do. Okujjako nga they are a certified business consultant, and majority of business consultants in Uganda are not certified. Majority of them don't even have a business. Majority of them have never even managed a business. Ontegeera. So yeah, but the things they say are general. Bakwata general information na ajituwa. But because you're going to be investing your money, you should be very, very careful as you listen to them. Okitegeera. So now someone will ask you, Ata kakati tukole business, and then I will tell you that what business were you doing before you raised the capital? Oba, where did you get the money you're talking about from? Bobanga, the money you have now that you want to invest in the transport business, you did not get it from Uganda. Then I'll ask you, what were you doing before you decided to go do that job that gave you the capital? Ontegeera. And then that's when you have to start thinking, what was I doing? Ontegeera. And then it will come to you. Bobo wali otunda ngoye enkadde, my brother, zoboddamu kuba ozimanyi. Bobo wali ovuga boda, sente zosoko zitereko ogira ovuga boda as you figure out what related business you can do. Bobo wali in a restaurant, please invest in restaurant because that's your specialty. Okujja kunga wali weeyiyanga naye waito bitegeera. Look for a job that you understand better than anyone and invest your money there. Don't invest your money in a business that you don't understand simply because other people have made money. Even if it's transport business, Because when you listen to me talking about the transport business, you realize that it's complicated. I'll tell you, I have a friend of mine. Here they are a business for a very long time. Right now, I know mulimu. Hey, guy, I know mulimu. He went for a day job. A day job. He went for a day job. Bamukozesa. Nenga ataludde nga ina taxis ezikola. Kitegeeza ki? Kitegeeza gwe gombo genda. Other people are getting out. Ontegeera. Kitegeeza the taxi business cannot really satisfy you as much as you want. Go find oba yagala kufuna mulimu. Go do a course that advances your qualifications of no mulimu. Okitegeera. Olaba after nange sometimes I get tempted to go and sit in offices and do whatever those guys do. Because it's like it's easy money. When I'm given targets and I don't decide the targets, it's easier. Katifaba Arthur, it's me who decides the targets that we need to meet. It's me who decides how much money we have to make because I have to invest the money. That's hard. That's hard. Bobo ina qualifications zo banga jiwagende wakola yo bukosi nga noka kuyamba ko kufuna omulimu ogw'obuvunanyizibwa ng'olaba you'll be at peace there. Get a job, by the guys. There is nothing evil or there is nothing less humanly or there is nothing that makes you less of a man or less of a woman in being employed. I know so many people that are employed who make a lot of money. They are doing very well financially. It's a nyumba za banks and zoba zizimbye. Binance side they hustle. There is nothing bad about you being employed by someone. As long as you get money, echikuru sente. Ate my guy, sente, money is money. There has never been a label that says that, you know what, this money was made by being employed, so it's bad. Or this money was made by someone who was cleaning the streets, so it's bad. Money is money. So gendo kolesete wherever you make it from. Don't be there thinking that there is nobility in being self-employed. Or whether there is nobility in suffering. There is no nobility in suffering. Me, as I prepare my kids, I'm preparing my kids for everything. As long as he makes enough money to survive, to live a good life. But me, I find that we have glorified this thing of being self-employed with all these motivational speakers telling you, I'm telling you. Bino ebintu by'okwekozesa bizibu nnyo, ebintu by'okuowninga business nabyo bizibu nnyo. Okitegeera abantu abamu balina genda basome beeyongere ebitabo bakolera abalala. Kati bwe kyolowooza mbu Arthur asobola okukola sente ezinga eza CEO wa Centenary. Naye nga CEO wa Centenary is self-employed. No, CEO itugenze wala. I have qualifications in marketing that get me to marketing manager level. I know marketing managers that make 15 million, 20 million a month. I know those guys in the center bakolera ddala nyingi. Yes, basasula n'omusolo omungi so sente zasigaza si nyingi nnyo. But sabo omuntu akola 15 million era ayinza okuba agenda ewaka ne million nga 8. Take home. Okitegeera. So there is no nobility in being where Arthur is. There is no nobility in doing a boda business simply because you believe bebakozesa and bagaya waliwo engombe gye bagamba buno musimanya salary will never make you rich. Who told you? It depends on what salary you're getting. Of course, if you're getting small salary, yes. But there are people that are getting big salaries. Again, like Honorable Anita Mongo, the Speaker of Parliament, is employed. But you make more money than her. President Museveni is employed. Wait. President Museveni amuwa omulimu. Okisegeera. But ayinza omwesimbamu ku sente zaafuna gwe. Omusajja mugagga muvundu. Sente omusaala wano afuna mutono naye ka allowance kaafunako obufunyi tumuweererera abaana tumuwa eddwaliro tumugulira engoye tumujjanjaba emmoloka twamuwa 7 amafuta tugagula twamuwa ennyumba 2 ne tumuwa ne ziroogi. Well, you guys glorify self-employment for nothing. Then me, I'm thinking of becoming mayor somewhere so that I be employed. My guys, when I see muna nsondera ku sente za campaign, Munansondera sente za campaign nesime unange mbere employed. Guys, abali kucheyonga bakuwadde omulimu. There is no nobility. Boboli okucheyonga ofuna sente zo nga kyajanga nyingi. Save as much as you can. Okitegeera. Again. Save as much as you can. Save as much as you can. Ngojengo ojja kulitayaringa. There is no nobility in suffering. Mbojogule wekiduuka e Kampala. Fenate tulina kugulawo maduuka mwe bagayi. I'm sure some of you have already discovered it that buli wewe omulimu buli wobera nedduuka nga lyobonabona nnyo bw'okolera omulala akasente watofuna kangi nnyo neyobera n'emirembe okitegeera. So please don't be tempted to want to be like Arthur. And what there is suffering, real suffering, I'm telling you. Olumu bitukwata family self-employed olumu bitukwata kati nze now I'm trying to build to a capacity where I have people that are on payroll in my company. It's not easy. But I also find that if I don't have people that are working for me, business tekura. If you go to people like Mr. Beast, if you go to Super Blondie, Ababanto Balaba, they have people on payroll. That's how their business have been able to scale. They have idea people, they have editors, they have all these people. Kati business ejakula buli wonobanga nawe woli oyina gwogattako. Now you have to ask yourself, business yo yakala kola, can you grow it to the level where you have people on payroll on your ngabali on your call? Obanga tosobole kubikola ebyo muganda wange. Bobo oyina wuli nga bakuwa akasala akakumala muganda wange. There is no nobility ne wafu. Nange njagala genda kufuuka meya somewhere yeye waffe mu kyalo. Guys, did you see what Trump did again? Trump musive, but Trump has so far raised $52 million US for his campaign. Abantu bamusondedde sente. Zenange njagala yingira ko mu politics na yesige na kosa sente zange njagala abansondera ngende nesime unange mu mpo mu mbere employee naye nga nkola n'ebyange mwebaga. Did you see what Trump did? Trump has raised more than 50 kachemanya ayika yingi the million in kaga. Is that dollar? Ezo zigenda kola campaign. And I like how can in the US. It's like guy taleta sente sota babanja. Mwe collecting ira sente ezigenda kola campaign ye. Abagamba, I'm running a fundraiser. He gets professional fundraisers. Nebaja nebakola fundraisers. Neba raisinga sente nemujja kuzidina ono namwe milioni oli namwochi nefe wana abayayi bakweka no kweka baba wa sente eryo litakweka. So people have been giving Trump money and apparently he has a lot of money. What he is a convicted felon and you know what happens, asobola okubera mu komere yo ne yesimba una campaigning na wangula bwa wangula abera president ngaba mujja mu komera. I think na yesunze okitegeera. So mu mateeka go mu America omuntu basobola okumusiba ne bamusiba ne mukomera ne yesimbawo mukomera yennyini nyini ono nga parking spot yange. Bana abantu bamanyira tekawo akapande parking reserve. Ate ekyewunyisa abantu abagala parking spot za tebasasula parking fees. Kane wesanga nti fa basasula parking fees tujja ne tunyigirizibwa etwaga tu parking abife ebirala ebitaliko byetasasula parking olw'okubanga bana abantu bagala parking mu bifo byafu. Kale atumalize broadcast nendo ze broadcast network yanzijeko ne mu missing okufa ne muga athanga atukoze bubindo zanga nga mwera evident network yetu jeko nindako. Okay, katulabe comment nakome kusoma kweriwa. After I can't invest in transport business 30 million. I can rear my chicken layers, then I earn millions per month. Thank you, Joshua. But checho kati mula bantu Joshua yachi dabiddeyo. Naye ati waliwo omuntu agenda oteka million asatu yenga tajja nze sijja kulunda. Sijja kulima. Nagana. After I went into farming with high expectations, I was totally disappointed and annoyed the first year. After 2 years now, I see I'm in need of a car. Kwegamba kati bikuteyo. You know, Dr. Chisenyo someseza baba unless nga tebayiga, but mostly your people must listen very well. Amina. Mr. Joshua, Mwami Joseph Arabika yarunda obugubi. yalunda obugubi oba yali mampafu. Creating so many sources of income helps a lot, makes life easier even if you're employed. True. Create sources of income, but you know the point I was just trying to make is that there is no nobility in actually being self-employed or starting businesses. There is no nobility. If said abantu abatandika business ate ne zibabonya. Tough times create strong men, so the more you get stressed in self-employment, the more you are thinking harder to make it bigger. Arthur, we have same vision. Me, I'm also joining to register a company. You should. Charles Sebaduka, hi. First, be Dr. Chisenyi, we shall support you. Ngangida kubanga kadiye. Nemwe by 42 PhD ngerinya yang Arthur Chisenyi PhD. Next year ngenda kora research ya masters kuba ku masters imbuza ko research yoka. Ngenda kora research ya masters njimale mali level 7 ya CIM bwe mali ebyo byonna I enroll. Of course genda ku PhD ino bango publishing ze ya katabo the PhD I want. Kati natanse do wandika akatabo kange kali of course kali performing arts still, marketing in the performing arts as well, and I will publish that book. Then after publication then I join the PhD program. Netaga gisomera emyaka nge 3 PhD. Aonzi jenga nze otapita Dr. Sita ba Doctari. This man with beard has some knowledge. You had been awarded the title of professor. Amina mwe kakati kamba sibuli ngende nkole emirimu gy'abakama wange masa ngenda kubamba gamba tuyinza okuba tuyenda okugulayo kigege ndala tubeere ne member omulala mu community alina kigege tuyinza okuba masa tugenda kugulayo kigege ndala tugenda kugulayo kigege yaffe ndala tegenda sukka milioni 3 tejja naziweza era tugigula bwetu tibwe tugigula ng'olwaleero wiiki ejja kigege genda betandika okukola driver already waliwo driver ali ku standby alinze genda kukola, and so far omuntu yatufunira driver yasooka ku kigege gye twasooka okugula yagenda tufunira driver ono owokubiri bwe tunaba nanyini kigege bw'anaaba akkaanyiza naye driver bayo omusajja balungi kuba oli driver wooli kigege eri asasula bulungi bulijjo ta default nga yadde n'akatono. Mune Pastor Bujingo wants a PhD kavume bachiyenje. I'm working on that, Charles. One of the people that I'm hiring right now is going to be in charge of making sure that we have that content. He said I get so busy, so I need someone that's KPI, strictly the KPI is making sure that we have those videos. I have so many people that are willing to give me cards for review, but I get busy sometimes. I have priorities, so I want someone priority of making sure that we get those videos. If their priority is that, then they'll have to coordinate all these things that need to be coordinated. So you cannot do everything alone. Guys, kamba sibule Arthur, me I think a business is something done with passion even if you don't earn that much. Like for me, I have a cultural troupe, but it takes a while without getting gigs. Now it's very fine. Ate cultural troupe yali badde kola nnyo. Mweba guys ekyantu arokusoma marketing. Yesokola chinkola masters atengenda kola PhD. Mbere kakensa mu marketing wa performing arts e Kampala wano. Kubati wali kakensa wa marketing mu performing arts. Kasi chantu wala mwe bantu mu culture troupe inokola buli weekend inokubango ine emirimu obato ina buli weekend inokuba ne peak season nga ku weekend obako ne emirimu nga mukaaga. Which taxi town service route gives you 90k? Actually Chigege tulina ya town service evuga Kayunga. Chigege yafe evuga Kayunga era abasinga tokola nnyo era ne town service na isi real town service guys kamba sibule mwebale kubera ku broadcast abaraba mukamoli namwe mwebale temwira bidankola pre-purchase inspection ati charging akasente katono mitwala namwe 5 nzijane makanika. We make sure that you get a good car. Your job is to strictly say emotoka njagala mujikebere eri sijagala tujireke yogamba toyagala tetujigula no matter what ate sente zizo era bwe tuba tugenda ogula emotoka totambula na sente ozireka mu banka tumala kulaba emotoka nitugisiima bwebe esobola nyini nje tuvugane tugenda ku banka nitumwa sente zene tuwaukana nga babigwo okitegeera. Gerald Sonko kiriwo nade sikubuuzizaako Todi Ronald nakubuuziza neka nade sikubuuziza neka nsubire bantu bange muri bulungi mugambe abantu balete sente za pre-purchase inspection okitegeera. Pre-purchase inspection yafe it's bigger than just checking the car. Pre-purchase inspection nawe kugambako obesere mubera ne sente ga muri andulinze athanja kugamba obonchawe kamba sibule muyombya Mark Ntale Samuel Tusime Edin Sereko Search Hashim Mugarasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Nathan, Antonio Random Things, Romeo Polite, Fred and Life Stories, Travel Life Vlog, Morad, K Momo, Lucky Mose, Ronald Muchwa, Mutumba Pade, Paul Sema, Juma Abaji, Balvids, Mwesuga Simon Peter G, Jelicia Motors, Joseph Balikudembe Bukonya Abe, Fastborn, Bridget Kakai, Kanso Patrick Asiku, Rahim Chimuli Chigozi, Bernard Odongo, Chiza Tadeo, VIP, Preacher Joseph the Original Gospel Church, Cam Besije, Modric, Jude the Dude, Ben Kako Signature, Derek Lule, Frank Promoto. And by the way, guys, taxi business is not going anywhere. So if you want to invest in taxi business as a side business, please go ahead and invest. Seru Victor, Matembe Abdul Nasan Kubuzi Zako, Gerald Sonko, Edrin Mugerwa, Todi Ronald, Bernardo Dongo, Oza Mosantu, Nuhurida Tom. Katino obudde bok filing returns munatera okutuuka nze nabagamba I file returns me as an individual ne company yange nti nze ne sente zenkola no ku purchase inspection mu returns zange nziteekamu nemba wa ku magoba nemba wa 30% yabwe nga URA anti Yesu yatugamba ebya Kaisari bye Kaisari ne bya Katonda yere yani bire bya Katonda. Gilo Bates, Okumu Brian, Charles Sebaduka, Entebbe Road goes up to 100,000. Na ye Entebbe Road ye yeba yetaga nti moroka nga mpya nnyo ojjagigule milioni nga 3.5 kwambuka waggulu. You want a badge ogisasulira. You're tired of being a commoner. We gotta be a VIP. We gotta be a VIP nga Ronald M Kasendwa nga Chiza Tadeo. Kati ka app kankole video nga sinava wano mbarage app je mugenda okugula. Je mugenda si ya kugula, by the way. You get that app ekukiriza ekusobozesa creating a visa card nga totadeko account yo, so you can load money on that visa card by using mobile money. Guys, kambasibule omukama bo omukisa. I'll see you tomorrow morning. May the good Lord bless you. Ciao ciao.